I finally got the Forerunner catalyst, and I gotta say, it's one of the most unique and cool catalysts in the game. I'm not sure how practical it is, but it's really cool nonetheless. This was one of the worst, most exhausting grinds I've done though. I've spent an eternity in Dares of Eternity at this point, and I don't think I want to see it anymore, even though I know I'll undoubtedly be back in there. Basically, for those of you that don't know, to get this catalyst, to unlock the catalyst, not Masterwork and complete it, just to unlock it, you have to reach level or rank 16 with Xur. And the only way to do this is by doing Dares of Eternity and getting completions. I tested a few different things to see if there was a more efficient way of doing this. Even the higher difficulty option did not give us any better progress per completion, so I assume it's best to just do the basic one over and over and over again. Once you do get to rank 16, you have to get a 225,000 score finish in Dares of Eternity. If you do this on the higher difficulty, Legend difficulty, that's 1320 light, so it's really not that difficult at all. You can do this very, very easily, and it's a team score, not a solo score, so it's very easily attainable. After that, you will get the catalyst, and you'll have to get 700 kills, I believe, with the Forerunner to then fully masterwork it. Its masterwork perk is called the Rock, so for several seconds after a final blow, you can long press your action button to consume part of your ammo reserves for this weapon, and that'll convert your next thrown grenade into a fragmentation grenade. This is really, really unique, and I don't think there's anything quite like this in the game, and just really adds even more to this really cool weapon already. But basically the way this works is you get a kill, you do the long press, and then it converts 6 of your special ammo bullets for this gun and turns it into its own independent grenade charge, which of course is the frag grenade. Once you convert your special ammo into the frag grenade, you can swap weapons and do essentially whatever you want, and you'll have that frag grenade. And what's cool about this is your actual ability grenade will still be charging in the background, and you can probably throw 2 grenades back to back, similarly to probably like in Halo where you can hold multiple grenades. This might be a callback to that as well. Let's talk about the behavior of the grenade though itself. It's a frag grenade, so it doesn't really have any status effect with it, but it does have a knockback effect, which we'll get into in a little bit. It has an 8-meter maximum damage radius. I think the lowest damage number that I could see was 18 damage, and that was right at 8 meters. At 5 meters, it'll deal 137 damage, and then within 3 meters, it'll deal its maximum 180 damage. Now, this pretty much leaves someone very, very one-shot. If you get that 180 damage, pretty much anything after that is going to be able to get a kill on them. However, this can technically get a one-hit kill. I think it's nowhere near practical at all, but you can actually deal impact damage for 10 damage when the grenade hits a target, and then if it detonates right under them or within 3 meters for 180 damage, that's 190, and that will kill, but 6 resilience will survive that. Funny enough though, it can bounce off a target numerous times, and each time it does, it'll deal 10 damage. So if it bounces somehow, some way twice, and then it detonates on the target for full damage, it'll get a one-hit kill against nearly any resilience. So, little funny with how that works. Very, very unlikely, but it's a really strong grenade. Some folks in my chat were wondering this, but yes, this does deal self-damage. If you nade yourself, it will deal damage to you, and the maximum self-damage appeared to be basically removing your shields, or getting very close to removing your shields. As far as the throw distance of this seems to be nearly identical to the frag style ability grenades that we have, like the incendiary grenades. The arc and the distance of the throw seems to be, again, nearly identical. However, the Forerunner grenades are not affected by fastball, and that was a bit disappointing to me. They do seem to have a decent amount of bounce, maybe a little bit more bounce, and it does detonate on resting after the bounce, not in the air after the bounce. It doesn't detonate on bounce, it detonates on the resting position. So that was a little neat, gives you a little bit more to play with in terms of placing the grenade and the timing of it, I think. But not working with fastball again was a bit of a disappointment. I mentioned a knockback effect, and yeah, this is significant against targets in the air, and it can be used to actually gain more height from your own jump. And this is actually a very obvious callback to me if you've played Halo, and pretty much nade jumping in that game, where if you put a nade at your feet and then you are ascending or jumping as the detonation goes off, you will gain more height for your jump. And you can actually do that with this, which is really, really cool. It's a really fun callback, I think. So you can keep this in mind while using it to damage opponents. You can also leverage your own height advantage at the same time to create a bigger gap between, let's say, you and a shotgunner, or you can just use this for fun to get into some cool spots and make some jumps you wouldn't be able to make otherwise. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Forerunner's Frag Grenade Masterwork. It's pretty crazy, really cool, really unique, but like I was saying earlier, how practical is it truly? I was trying to utilize this, and mind you, I'm pretty sleep deprived, so I definitely wasn't playing great, but when I was trying to utilize this, it felt really difficult and really costly, because you have to sacrifice 6 bullets. That's potentially 2 kills with this really powerful weapon, and you're giving that up for essentially an extra grenade. And I get it. In this sandbox, especially now, where ability cooldowns have been halved or made a lot less frequent, a powerful grenade like this is not something to be taken lightly. It's good to have. However, using it in practice just didn't feel as effective as just keeping the ammo for this gun. It just didn't feel like the trade-off was really worth it. I like the idea of the grenade. You can use it like you would in Halo. When someone's getting really aggressive on you, you can bounce it and bait them into it and use it really defensively to essentially take out their shields and then clean them up and get a reversal essentially. And that's really good in this game, especially where people are going to be getting over aggressive on you with a shotgun, especially because this is your special weapon. It means you're not using a shotgun. You're a little bit more defenseless against shotguns with this, other than having to really keep your space. So when someone's getting aggressive on you, if you have that grenade, the idea is probably to use that to not only damage them and bait them into it so that you can kill them and punish them for that over aggression, but you can also maybe tie in giving yourself a bigger jump with the knockback or that grenade jump aspect of it as well. So I see the value there. It's just the cost is very, very steep with the special ammo. And on top of it, as much as this sounds perfect and sounds really great in a vacuum, it's just really, really hard to pull off. To place the grenade really well and get maximum, benefit out of it feels really tough, especially at the cost of what could be up to 2 kills with this gun. So a lot of the time it just felt like I was better off just saving the ammo and using the gun normally and not getting the frag grenade. So that was a little bit disappointing. I definitely don't want free ability spam and frag grenade spam everywhere, but I don't think that these frag grenades are nearly as free and easy to use effectively as some of the ability grenades that we have in the game. I just can't shake though that it feels like there's too much risk associated with utilizing this grenade ability for what you're really sacrificing for it. I don't know what they could do about it. Maybe sacrifice a little less ammo, and mind you, you have to find the reserves to actually use this in the time that you have to use the long press. It's not a switch you can hit whenever you want. You have to actually get the ammo quick enough to then do the long press and hope you have enough time there. So I felt like that window of time was actually pretty short and relatively unforgiving for how long sometimes you had to travel to get that ammo. So again, maybe they could make it so that you could switch whenever and convert to the grenade whenever you want. I'm not sure. Something that wouldn't promote too much ability spam and wouldn't be too strong, but definitely not as costly as it is now for a grenade that feels like it has so much risk to it that you might not really get anything out of. In PvE, I can see this being really, really cool and add some awesome utilities to the weapon though. So again, I love this. I think it's really cool. I think it's so unique. I love the callback with it. I think it's got a great value proposition. But for the special ammo that it's costing you, the way that the stars have to align for you to actually activate and get the grenade, and then the risk associated with the grenade, I think it's just too much and it's not practical as a result. So those are my thoughts and everything you gotta know about the Forerunner Masterwork Catalyst. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.